Hello, hello and welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name's Matt Finch and welcome to Run by Singers' first Alto rehearsal for Choral Classics. I'm already looking at the chat and having a look at who's here and able to chat or wanting to chat. We've got Philippa in France. Hello to you. You were the first on this morning. Who else? We've got Maria in sunny London. Angela in Leicestershire, Deborah in cloudy London. Interesting, London's a big place, I suppose. Different weathers in different parts. Katri, hello in Sweden. Good as well. So we've got France and Sweden, so we're not just a UK-based choir today. Catherine, near Bath, hello. I thought you were in Laycock there, but that's obviously your surname, not the place. Heather Lang in Cornwall. I was in Cornwall last week, right down the bottom in Penzance. It was beautiful. Thank you very much, Cornwall. Anne, west of Scotland. Val in Buckinghamshire. No sun. Boo. It's a bit sunny here in Bath at the moment. Claire from Harrogate. Sue from Northumberland. Josephine. I recognise some of these names now. In Bracknell. Maria. Munich. There we are. So we are truly international. Definitely. We've got lots of places. And Barbara, morning all. Good to see you, Barbara. And Dublin as well. So I'm brilliant. I'm going to stop reading out all of that because that's not what we're here for. But it's good to know that you're out there all over the place and you can chat in this little chat place here. Oh, and Nina. Very good. Nice to have you here. We've got some people here that this is their first time. So please make them welcome on the chat. If this is your first time, you could write in the chat first and then a few other people will chat. If you can keep your chats quick, then it keeps the pace going. The big long sentences take a long time for you to type, and by the time you've typed it, the moment has sometimes gone. So just writing first will mean we know that you're a first timer to a Run by Singer event maybe. If you're an old timer, don't write old. But do make everyone welcome. So today, the plan is we've got four pieces of music, beautiful pieces of music to look at, just as altos. You'll be listening to Emma singing the alto part, and she lives in Bath, and she's just a brilliantly true singer. She's like bang on it, which is great. So today is just about nipping through all the alto lines. It's not necessarily, we haven't even got 45 minutes, not a lot of chat. It's like bang, 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 bang. When we sing the pieces, we will put up a little sign in the corner here, like that. Can you see that one? When that comes up, that means we are singing it all the way through. And that sign allows me to find that place very quickly later on this afternoon. And then I can mark that moment down below this video. In the description, you'll see later on will appear a little time, a number, and it will say something like 10:09 Ave Verum. And so you can click on Ave Verum and it will take you straight to the alto part all the way through. So today is creating the opportunity for you then to come back to practice, rehearse, just pop it on in the kitchen while you're making something and to let that alto line sink in. Some of you will know many of these pieces and you'll sight read it all the way through, and others there will be new pieces that you won't know. So you've got a mixture of all sorts. This week is, I would say, pretty standard. Next week we've got a new piece written by me, so many of you won't know it, so it'll be a challenge. There's lots of different things. I've got a pretty clear guidance of my times to make sure that I get everything done in 45 minutes. So it will be talk about the piece of music, look at the tricky corners, sing it through. Next piece. On Friday, when we come together as the tutti, it's a little bit more chilled out. I think we're supposed to be an hour and 15 minutes, but it will be a bit more flexible. I've got to make sure I finish you to start the tenors at 11 o'clock today. So Friday there'll be more of a warm-up. We will be singing the pieces with all four parts in the same volume in the mix, so it will sound gorgeous. And I've created these tracks myself, and they sound absolutely lovely. So that will be Friday. We will sing through the piece. then we'll just answer any questions, check it through, and then we'll sing through again, and we'll put the light on. The light, as I keep calling it, this thing up here. That will be for you just to come back anytime you want to sing through that piece. You'll know where to find the link. Run by Singers, boom, 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 click the link, and straight to it. So today we will have a short warm-up, but very, very short, and we're looking at Ave Verum, Christus Factus Est, O Saviour of the world, is it nothing to you? I'm hoping you've got all of those pieces and links from Nick. Just checking out the chat. Look at that. A few newcomers, welcome, yes. And people doing other things, spamming alum. I've seen that on Twitter as well. That's a big piece, isn't it? Good morning at Norwich as well. Emma's last name, good question there from Nina. Don't know Emma's last name. If I did, I'd let you know, but I don't. I just know her as Emma, and she probably won't be watching this. And Nick's not watching this because they are in Lincoln this week doing a course. So I'm on my own. Ooh, got nobody checking me out, listening in the corner. Anyway, let's do some quick bit of warming up. So we're just going to do some humming, literally 2 minutes of humming. And we're going down first and then we go up. And we'll change it to some other sounds as well. Sing along with me. 2, 3, 4. I don't think we need this note, but we'll go for it. Good. Going up from there, I'm just checking the chat out. Yes, good question. Which Emma? Sorry, if it was Emma Bullitt, she's the singer that you'll be listening and singing to today. If it was Emma as in Run by Singers, Emma, that's the Emma that I don't know. Emma Bullitt, I do know very well, and I know her surname. It's Bullitt, as Barbara Morgan says. And Phil Styles is here. He snuck in. Phil Styles is our tenor and bass. So you'll hear him in the very quiet distance today. You'll hear him more on Friday. But good to have you here, Phil. Going from the bottom, going up now. 2, 3, 4. Hum and ooh. he's dropped in just to say hello. Yes, thank you very much, Phil. He's off to go and record some tracks because he's got to get all the singing done for us so that we can then rehearse to it. So it's all got to be planned in advance. So thank you very much, Phil, for coming. Susan, welcome to be here. It's a great course in Lincoln, but yes, hopefully you can go next year. Good. I see that I know some of you are doing more choral singing online than you probably ever did choral singing outside, offline, whenever that would be, which is great. So it's good to keep you occupied and doing lots of singing. So, Ave Verum, just check the time and I'm already over by 1 minute. Tick-tock. So, Ave Verum Corpus, Mozart. If you could find that one, we're going to start with this one. This was written by Mozart about 6 months before he died. So he was writing his Requiem at the same time. It's written for a friend, Anton Stoll, in a church. He was a church musician in St. Stephen's in a town in Austria. So it's a nice, simple, short piece and a good warm-up. You'll notice right at the beginning in your score it says sotto voce, which means under the voice. Very, very soft. It's the only dynamic in the whole of the piece. There's no other dynamics. So either Mozart wasn't getting paid a lot or he was in a hurry. Because normally Mozart does put a few dynamics in, contrasting things, but that's it. Just under the voice and slow. For those who might not be necessarily music readers, the block at the beginning with the number 2 over the top and the line underneath is 2 bars rest. And at that point, that's when the organ is playing a little introduction. And you'll see on the right-hand side, there's a 3 bars rests. And right at the end of the piece, if you turn over, there's another 3 bars. So you haven't got the organ part on this version that Nick's sent out. That just means it's less paper and only 2 page turns. Whereas if you have the organ part, obviously it gets longer. Other things before we have a sing through, just thinking about phrasing and where to breathe. Right at the beginning, we're going to sing the first Ave, and then we're going to take a breath, and then we're going to sing Ave Verum Corpus. Take a breath. Natum de Maria Virgine. And I think those are the key ones to really to make right at the beginning. There are other breaths that you'll listen and you'll hear Emma do. This piece has the second of every 2 bars is almost the important place to aim for. So think about every 2 bars putting these signs, aren't these the 60s dance that you might have done at some point, over 2 bars. So that, for example, at the beginning, you've only got 2 notes. Ave, Ave. The second one is where you need to aim for. So you're going to go Ave, Ave Verum Corpus. So a lot of the harmony is designed by Mozart to set up a suspension and then resolve a suspension. And the actual suspension, the crunchy bit that we all like, that sort of thing, or they're all on the second bar rather than the first bar. So if you aim for that each time, then the sound, you'll enjoy those moments of. One other thing, just at the end, if you like, turn to the very last page, do take a breath at bar. Have we got bar numbers? Yes, we have. They're very, very small though, aren't they? I count from the top of that page, bar 31, 2, 3, 4. After mortis, take a little breath after mortis, examine, and also take another one after mortis on the last line before the examine as well. Good to have you with us, Morna. Yes, she came to the sopranos and is joining the altos today because the Bruckner does go very high. And that's just a sort of general note to all, really. You can come to any session. You don't have to just be an alto and not join the sopranos. You can come to the sopranos, you come to the altos, you can come along and sing bass if you want to. Stretch yourself, try something new, challenge yourself. You're on your own, no one can hear you, so it's your evaluation, isn't it, of whether that was a useful experience. But you can come along to everything, as well as the tutti as well. Right, we're going to go for a sing through. If this is the first time you've ever sung this, it's a bit of a sight read for you, and remember, the light will go on, which means that you can come back to this instantly and then practice it more if you need to. So, this is Ave Verum Corpus for the altos. We have a 2-bar introduction, and remember, it's 2-bar crescendos like this. Here we go, and over to Emma. Lovely. A nice, straightforward, easy piece. Are there any accidentals for you? You had a couple of F sharps and G sharps, not a lot. So hopefully you were reading that pretty well. Give us a thumbs up if you scored 10 out of 10, you've got all the notes right and you're pleased with yourself. Or if you had no idea what was going on, you're going to have to listen to that all over again. Give yourself a lower score. And then maybe on Friday, you'll be able to up your score by something. But great! Really good. That was Ave Verum Corpus. That's as quick as we're going to be. If you want to come back to that at any point and listen to it and sing through it, please do. My favourite bit of that moment is on that top of that page, that Estor Nobis, that G major 7 chord, if you want to know what that is. It's such a groovy, almost jazzy chord, isn't it? Look at that, some 8s and 9s from Sue and Angela. Well done. Good, good. And I'm hoping it's really clear and obvious where the notes are going and things like that. So you can listen to that, and then on Friday, when you've got it in the full mix, you'll be feeling really confident. Look at those scores coming in. Good. Excellent. We don't have to score. The tenors and basses don't do their scoring. They don't chat a lot, tenors and basses. Woohoo! A 10 from Heather. Good. Let's have a look at Christus Factus Est, and let's find out whether Morna prefers singing nice and low in that one. Good. Well done. Yeah, it's a It's a well-known piece, that one. So, Christus Factus Est. Okay, yes. You do know it, yes. Well done, Philippa. Excellent. And a thumbs up from Nina. Christus Factus Est pro nobis. So this one. Anton Bruckner, composed in 1884. There we are. And he wrote it and dedicated it to one of his students. And there's lots of elements in this one of homophony, which is when everyone is singing the same, homophony. And then there's polyphony, where all the different parts are intertwining. And some gorgeous bits of chromaticism and modulation. Chromaticism is where you start to see loads and loads of accidentals, basically. And it's said, I was doing my little research on this sort of time period where Bruckner was writing this, he was into going to lots and lots of Wagner and Wagner concerts. And Wagner, yeah, he was really pushing the boundaries of chromaticism. Still following all the traditional rules, but we're at that point in history where we're slowly slipping into modernism, where all those rules are just like thrown away and we start again. So it's an interesting key development, this one, all the way through. Couple of notes before we go through it. Points. Bottom of page 1 of Christus Factus Est, you'll see GP, G.P. That doesn't mean go to the doctor. It means that you've got a general pause, and we pause for as long as we like. Well, in this one, we are going to just hold it for four beats. It's a rest for 4 beats. And because I'm not conducting the backing track, I'm being pushed along by the track, it will be a strict 4. If you turn over to the... Where's the place that I wanted to talk about? A breath. No. A couple of other things. You will hear Emma split her voice into 2 parts. There's a couple of moments where you can pick the lower note or the higher note. You can choose whichever you feel like is going to be easier for you, either in pitch or think about what note you've gone from. Have a look now and go, okay, I've just sung a G flat, so I'm going to carry on singing a G flat. I mean, you might even want to do a mixture of the both. Do whatever is easiest for you. The favourite bit in this piece, there's a couple of bits where you just like top over each other with the tenors and which is amazing. And on the last page, for some bizarre reason, Bruckner decides to give the most important line to the altos and pops them up high. If you look on the last page, on the middle stave, you'll see you're on a top D. And the sopranos are singing that little bit there. So, yeah, enjoy the fact that he's gone, you know what, altos, I'm going to give you the tune. Why not? Oh, there's the other space. Yes, top of that page. Top of the last page, there's another whole bar rest, which is in strict time. You'll hear probably Emma take a breath just before quad, and you've got 3 Fs. Flippin' forte, yes? And that's after you've done this really big crescendo going all the way through. Scrunchy harmonies where you don't quite know where it's going. And you can imagine hearing this for the first time and hearing all of that scrunch. And as a listener thinking, what is going on? And then having a whole bar to hear all of that and process it in your head before he comes back with quad S. Nice and simple, clean. So he really is taking the listener on a journey. That's what I love about this piece. It's a good standard. Again, a lot of choirs sing it. Should we have a go at singing it all the way through? I don't think there's anything else I need to check out on. Just keep an eye on the dynamics. There's some moments of forte and P straight away. And also, just to double check, you've got the Bedians. They should all be double dotted. Occasionally on this edition, there's a single dot, and I think they should all be double dotted. So keep it bouncy when we get there. Let's have a sing through, and you can let me know how you got on. So let's go with here we go with Christus Factus Est in D minor for the altos. Our starting note is a bottom A. Christ, all nice and chesty, which would be great. And we don't have any introduction, we're straight in, so I'll count you in and hopefully press the right button at the right time. Okay, there's our first Christ. 1, 2, 3.
Christus Factus Est pro nobis, obediens, 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 usque ad mortem, autem crucis. Propte quod et Deus exaltavit illum. Propte quod et Deus exaltavit illum, et dedit illi nomen, et dedit illi nomen, quod est super, super omne nomen, quod est super omne nomen. Quod est super, super omne nomen. Quod est super
Wow, there's some pretty gorgeous alto lines in that, aren't there? I mean, there's some like, and then suddenly, woo! You're all over the place, aren't you? Gorgeous, isn't it? I love that bottom C to that E flat. I mean, I'm sure you don't. As altos, you probably don't like it. But listening to it, swooping up there, and Emma sings it lovely. And then, yes, it is a top F, isn't it? But it is spine-tingling build-up for that moment there, which is lovely. So, let us know how you got on. Give us a thumbs up, or are there any very quick questions? We can take questions, but hopefully you've got that and you've gone, ooh, I need to work on that little bit there, or that little bit there, or, whew, that's another one dusted off that I've not sung for a while. Those jumps are a bit of a shock, aren't they? They come out of nowhere, but it's gorgeous to sing, and that the Sue is lovely. Sue, didn't know this piece. It's a classic, so yeah, absolutely need to practice, but it is beautiful. Friday, when you hear all 4 parts, and you'll hear your alto adventure working against the other parts a little bit more, then the polyphony really gets it. Yeah, tremendous range, isn't it? Right, let's chill out for a moment. That was to stretch you and wake you up a little bit. Let's go to something a little bit easier. O Saviour of the World by Mr. Goss. We will have to make sure we find some female composers as well. That's another thing. They didn't really get a lot of music published at that time, which is a problem because we can only use music that's out of print. But maybe if we dig deep enough, we might be able to find some. Or maybe I'll have some suggestions. So, O Saviour of the World by John Goss. He died in 1880, and this piece was first published in 1917. So quite a long time after his death, unfortunately. So presumably it was sung a few times, but I've got no record of that. 1917, obviously a lot of stuff going on in 1917. He was a composer, an organist, a teacher, and probably the most famous thing that he wrote that nearly all of us will know, certainly in England anyway, Praise my soul, the King of Heaven. Yeah, the classic wedding hymn. That was John Goss. So if you've got that in your head, then you'll go, oh, I can see how that links with O Saviour of the World, this one. For you, there aren't many accidentals in this one. There are not many leaps or anything like that. Right at the end of the piece, if you go to the very last page, you'll see in the second stave of music, right at the end, you'll see in the soprano part there's a couple of extra tiny little notes and things like that, and maybe there's one in the bass. You don't have any. We were talking about that yesterday in the sopranos. The arrangement that we have here is for SATB and organ. So the organ provides harmonies which you don't sing. You can sing this piece in SSATBB and something like that, and the extra notes are put in so we can sing it unaccompanied. But we're just going to do it SATB along with the organ. Then on that last line, bar 45, we take the last little bit slower, and it's like a little coda and a little additional bit on the end. To me, it always feels a little bit like, oh, you just run out of things to do and said, right, we're going to finish it off. It's a beautiful piece. My favourite bit, listen out for it, is on the second page at the bottom, where we have the reprise of the tune at bar 30, which is just a lovely scale each time. But how we get between the soprano and the tenors, and you really, and then the tenors come in, oh Saviour, then you come in, oh Saviour, then the tenors, oh Saviour. It's one of these things where each person is like, I'm going to do you a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, which is fantastic, which is leading us to the SF, as you'll see that. SF stands for Sforzando, which means a sudden explosion. And explosions generally don't last for a very long time. There's something that goes boom. So it has a high point and then it just dies away. So think of that rather than a long, big, broad fortissimo. Let's sing it through. Right at the beginning, you've got a 2-beat rest. That's the little brick sitting on before O Saviour. And if you look right down in the bottom, in the bass part, you'll see a tiny little note, which is played by the organ. So it goes, O Saviour of the world. So you just hear boom, oh. I'm going to give you that chord anyway when we go through it. Let's have a sing through. Some of you, this might be brand new. Let's have a go. So let's put the light on. And boom, boom. This is O Saviour of the World, John Goss, the altos, in the key of A flat. Here's our starting note. Oh. And there's the note that you'll hear just before for 2 counts. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and...
O Saviour of the world, O Saviour of the world, who by thy cross and precious blood hast redeemed us. Save us and help us. Save us and help us, O Saviour of the world, O Saviour of the world, O Saviour, who by thy cross and precious blood hast redeemed us. Save us and help us, we humbly beseech thee, O Lord. We humbly beseech thee, O Lord. O Saviour of the world, O Saviour of the world, O Saviour, who by thy cross and precious blood hast redeemed us. Save us and help us, we humbly beseech thee, O Lord. Oh, save us and help us. We humbly beseech thee, O Lord. Amen. Amen.
There we go. Lovely piece. Lovely. Should be a straightforward one. Today's challenge is the Bruckner, and each week I'm putting in a challenging one, a long one, and a bit more one that people might not know, or people go, oh, those are really tricky intervals, I need to listen to it. Something like that. If you're reasonably good at sort of picking out notes and sight reading, you shouldn't find that one too difficult. A couple of the F flats you might be thinking, oh. But once you've heard it a couple of times, I think you'll get to know the sort of that save us and help us. You'll enjoy that flat bluesy note almost. Good, really good. Let us know if you like that piece. But we are going straight on to our final little piece. Is It Nothing to You by Mr. Ousley. Ousley. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce his name. He was a composer, an organist, and became a curate in Knightsbridge, I believe in the Pimlico area, or parish, that's the word that they use. He wrote a lot of music for the Anglican Church of England, really. And he was a music professor at Oxford. And a lot of his music just sort of disappeared. Good. Barbara's feeling better after that one. Good. Good. It's a lovely piece. So this piece is one of his more well-known pieces. If you check out Ousley on Google, you can go to his charity foundation where they've got a library of all his music. There's obviously lots of Ousley fans, and he has written quite a lot, but it's not necessarily performed a lot. So this is It Nothing to You? And this is usually quite a flexible piece. It's a piece that we would enjoy the acoustics and the fact that we would be live and we wouldn't have an organ. All of that, of course, we haven't got. So we have to artificially, that's the word I'm looking for, create some moments. So, Is It Nothing to You, or Ye That Pass By? Bar 6, you've got a pause sign after your little twiddle on the by. The by that the sopranos are singing, they're going to hold it for 6 counts, which means that your by is going to be 4 counts. And then we're going to take 2 counts off of space, nothing, of rest. When we do the pass by the next time on the second line down, bar 12, if you go down to there, we're going to hold our by for 7 counts. Just add a little bit more on to make it sound human and real. But in our heads we're counting. And then 2 counts rest. It will be pretty obvious when you're singing. You will just follow it. But this is just to make you feel at home. And on the last page, if you look at the top on the last page, you've got row, which I believe is sorrow. That's it, sorrow. 4 counts on the row. And then I've put in 2 beats rest. So you can think of it as 6/4 bar if you want to, or just... and the next phrase coming. That's all it is. It's time to breathe, time to rest. And I put one other rest in the end of that line under done unto me, where the MP sign is. I've put another crotchet rest. Just time for us to take a breath. At the very end of the piece, just before bar 40, we've got a writ. So we do slow down, and our last chord is a 4 beats and off. Because by then we're running out of breath. So this piece is in D minor. So we're back to our D minor, just like the Bruckner. And it's a very still piece, and it just floats a lot. It's a lot of floating. Dynamically, got some crescendos and some things like that, but nothing as crazy as the Bruckner. Have a go. See how you get on. You'll enjoy this one. You've got some nice crunchy little alto lines with the sopranos, with those moments where you go, oh, ah, and it makes you, If you're lucky, you get a little tingle, probably on Friday when you hear all the parts. So this is It Nothing? Let's get that little light on. So this is It Nothing to You? Our final piece today, Mr. Ousley for the altos. There's no introduction, so here's our starting note on a D. Is after 4. 1, 2, 3.
Is it nothing to you, all ye that pass by? Is it nothing to you,
we go. Yeah, you get some of those moments that, like in the Allegri Miserere, on that. If there be any sorrow, page 2. If there be a whole 2 beats of that on the sorrow, and then the others there. Oh, lovely. Yes, and on Afflicted, on that last page, you're clashing with the tenors at that point, doing that. Oh, you'll enjoy that when you hear it on Friday, when you hear all the parts, when you're really confident. So listen to these little parts, and then you'll really enjoy those. Beautiful piece, nice and short. This is what we want, nice short little pieces that you go, yeah, I can get my head around that. One challenge in particular a week is what I'm aiming for. We've hit the time, 10:47. I need to say goodbye to you in a moment because I've got the tenors in just under 15 minutes. I need to go and get a cup of tea and see the outside world. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Thank you very much for coming. And you've heard some new music, I think new to you, or found some old favourites as well. And I'm looking forward to having you all on Friday. We're 8 o'clock. On Friday, we sing through all the music. At the moment, the plan is not to record. It's just to sing all together. We'll get feedback from you to find out how that is, but we wanted to remove that pressure of we are just singing. However, there is one piece that we're singing, I think, in week 4 that I would definitely like to challenge us all to rehearse, because there is no recording on YouTube of it. And I thought if we do it as a choir, then we'll be the only recording on YouTube of the particular piece. Look at that. Val, correct? Yes. You spotted the mistake. Bar 5, I think it was, or was it bar 4? Oh, ye that. Which one was it? There's one note that is changed. Is it nothing to you, oh, ye? It was that. That, just before bar 5. Well done for spotting that, Val. The that is not a D, it is an E. So it's incorrect in your music. Ye that. So it goes up. And if you double check that, if you look in the organ part underneath, you'll see it's an E. So it is incorrect. So you can have a go at all of that. I better do. I'm glad that you're all here. Yeah, Val, so well spotted. I don't think she did. Yes, so I think you're all catching up now with your chat and realising that note is incorrect. So sing with Emma, don't sing with the score on that particular instance. Emma is correct. The score is wrong. I better go, otherwise I'm not going to get ready for the next one. See you all on Friday. Bring a glass of wine, bring a beer, a coffee, a cup of tea, glass of water, chocolate biscuit, and we'll have a lovely time on Friday singing through all these gorgeous pieces of music. Take care, stay well, enjoy some sunshine if you've got it. Cheerio for now, bye.